Hey guys, and welcome to another UFC 2 tips and tricks video. In this video I'm going to be quickly going over backside control. I'm mainly going to be covering how to defend transitions in backside and also how to finish your opponent. Backside is a pretty popular position I've found when playing UFC 2, so I thought I'd make this video to show you how to better control your opponent and even get the finish on some lesser skilled opponents or those that don't have quite as good ground game. Sometimes you'll find yourself in backside when you've stuffed a takedown, such as the single leg takedown, or also from certain transitions on the ground, such as when your opponent sprawls from the north-south position, you can then transition into the backside. Although there's more ways to get to backside, these are two of the more common ones. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over is blocking transitions from the dominant position in backside. There are 4 ways for your opponent to escape. The easiest 2 to recognize and block are when your opponent rolls his shoulder towards the mat. When your opponent rolls his right shoulder towards the canvas, hold right trigger or R2 and flick the right stick to the right. When your opponent rolls his left shoulder towards the canvas, hold right trigger R2 and flick the right stick to the left. So flick it in the same direction as his shoulder, whichever shoulder he's using. The third is when your opponent tries to stand up into the clinch. Your opponent will bring their knee up, and when they do this, that means they're trying to stand up. So when they bring their knee up, press right trigger or R2 and flick up on the right stick. Okay, so the 4th transition that you have to try and defend is when your opponent tries to transition into backside themselves and try to gain the dominant position. When your opponent tries to transition into backside, you'll notice that they'll bring their knee up, but they'll also spin their body a bit. They'll start to rotate towards your back, and it looks like they're going for your back. To defend this, if they are on the left side of your body, hold right trigger or R2 and flick the right stick to the left. But if they're on the right side of your body, hold right trigger R2 and flick the right stick to the right. So flick the right stick in the same direction as what side they are on your body. You can also interrupt your opponent's transitions by landing strikes. If you land punches while in backside control, it'll interrupt any of their transitions if you're able to land them quick enough and also do a decent amount of damage. If your opponent gets to lower stamina in this position, you continuously land strikes, you'll often be able to get a finish pretty quickly, and this will be a good way to get an early stoppage against opponents that are not quite that experienced on the ground or in general. Okay, the last thing I'm going to quickly go over is escaping backside when your opponent is in the dominant position. So if your opponent has your back and backside and you want to escape, the best thing you can do is block his punches, and after successfully blocking one, transition as quickly as possible. So to block punches in backside, hold right bumper or R1 and your opponent and you will cover your head. When your opponent is landing punches, as soon as he lands one successfully, transition out as quickly as possible. The reason to do this is because once you successfully block one of his punches, it'll actually allow you to transition quicker than if you were to just do it at any other time. Okay, well, that is it for the backside control video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. And thanks again for watching another UFC 2 tips and tricks video, and I will see you guys again in the near future.